Recently, I've been making billions with PvM in old school RuneScape, and today I'm going to show you the Runelite plugins and their configurations that I literally cannot live without. These plugins will make your life on RuneScape way easier, more efficient, and honestly, more enjoyable. And they aren't ranked in any particular order, so let's dive right in. As most of you know, the Ground Markers plugin is incredibly useful for marking important tiles. This comes in handy when you need to mark specific tiles for just about every boss in old school RuneScape. Some good examples are 6-0 tiles for Bandos or Ziliana, safe tiles behind pillars in the Theater of Blood, and important tiles in the Inferno. There's honestly too many instances where this plugin is used to even count. Now, one thing you may not know about this plugin is that you can actually use it to import and export ground markers from and for other players by right-clicking on your world map. This makes it easy to get precise markers on the exact tiles you need. If I had to keep and use just one plugin forever, it would probably be the Ground Markers plugin, and that says a lot. The Entity Hider plugin allows you to make entities like other players, NPCs, and projectiles invisible. This plugin is especially useful in extremely crowded areas like Guardians of the Rift, Wintertot, or Temporos, where you can make everyone else except your own player just disappear. This is even useful if you don't have the world's greatest graphics card and can help speed up frame rates within your client. However, this plugin has some other features that you may not know about. You can also hide other players' thralls, which tend to get in the way in places like Enraged Wardens and the Tombs of Amasket. But the best part of this plugin is its ability to hide dead NPCs. Hiding dead NPCs may not sound like a big deal, but during NPC death animations, you can still red-click the NPC as it's dying. This causes issues where you may be expecting to click through a dead NPC to move your character, but just end up standing still instead. And this situation can easily kill you in places like the Colosseum or Inferno. Hiding dead NPCs is also extraordinarily useful in the Nyla room in the Theater of Blood. There's already enough spiders there to deal with, so you don't need to be distracted or misclick on each one as it's dying. Now, I would be lost without the Key Remapping plugin. Not only does it let you control the camera with WASD, but you can also remap individual keys for different functions. For example, I remap my Q, E, and number 1 keys to 3 different F keys. Then from within the actual RuneScape settings, I map those F keys to inventory, prayer, and my spellbook. This plugin was a little weird to get used to at first, but once I started using it consistently in the Corrupted Gauntlet, my PvM skill improved dramatically. The NPC Indicators plugin is a must-have for me because it can highlight both the true tile and the actual size of NPCs, which are larger than a 1x1. We'll get to true tiles a little later on. Sometimes it's a bit ambiguous as to how large an NPC actually is and where that line is between the NPC's melee distance and being underneath the NPC. A lot of fights like the Grotesque Guardians and Baba and TOA have your player pathing under an NPCs for certain strategies, while in other fights like the Gauntlet, it's important to never path under the boss. Having a clear boundary between the location underneath an NPC comes in pretty useful. Now, the NPC indicator does fall short in a few places, which is why I really like the Better NPC Highlight plugin from the Plugin Hub. This plugin allows you to highlight NPCs' hulls, click boxes, areas, outlines, and more. Now, I use this to highlight the axes and head at Vardorvis, but there's something I love even more about this plugin. You can actually use a tag command to tag individual NPCs by name or ID to a specific color preset. It makes it really nice to be able to tag the melee, range, mage, and volatile baboons in the monkey room to their respective colors. This even comes in handy in the Colosseum to tag the Fremnik Warband in a similar way. Set up your preset colors in the presets dropdown, and then just use the command !tag TT the NPC ID 12345 : the preset number 1 to tag an NPC to your specified preset color. If you aren't using the menu entry swapper plugin, then what are you doing? This is one of those plugins you didn't know you need until you start using it. It enables you to change the default left click and shift click options that are displayed when hovering over an in-game object or item. So things like swapping interact with empty for birdhouses, so you can empty them immediately. Swapping talk to with leave for the Temporos NPC to leave the game. Swapping teleport menu with last destination on your jewelry box in the POH. There's a whole lot of super useful swaps. I definitely encourage you to check all of them out if you haven't, because it's a huge quality of life that saves a lot of time digging through dialogues. The Corner Tile Indicators plugin can be downloaded from the Plugin Hub and is the same as the Tile Indicators plugin, but has an option for this nice little corner here. Like the name suggests, this highlights the tile underneath your player, but can also highlight hovered tiles and destination tiles as well. This is definitely a plugin in my top 3 most needed for PvM because of the highlight true tile option under current tile. There is a lag between your character's animation in your client and the actual position of your character on Jagex's servers. It's important to have a visual distinction for the position of your player according to the server, because this is what's being used to calculate if you're, actually standing on a dangerous tile or are within range of an attack, etc. Having true tile on helps to avoid these situations where you could have sworn you were out of reach of the boss, but they still ended up somehow smacking you for a 50. Finally, I wanted to mention the Radius Markers plugin. Its interface is a little tricky to get the hang of, but it comes in handy in more than one place by making a radius around an NPC at a configurable distance. For example, it can show you how far is Nex's attack range during the shadow phase. What's the explosion radius for Nilos in Verzik or volatile baboons in the Tombs of Amasket? And it can even change colors based on the NPC ID to give you a visual indicator of when, let's say, Akka switches prayers. In fact, I'm a little surprised this is even allowed at all, to be honest, but I'm not complaining. Well, these are just a few of the many awesome Runelite plugins that are available. I encourage you to try some of these plugins out and see how they can improve your old school RuneScape experience. And I almost forgot to mention, but I am trying to get back onto my regular Twitch grind. So if you're interested in seeing RuneScape content with bossing or raiding, or just want to stop in and say hello, feel free to come by my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/runewraith_. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.